Episode 3 The Bearded Lady. Annie Jones Alive in Full by Jared Larkham. You're listening to The Cavern, echoes of oddities, curiosities, and history, where true stories step out of the shadows and into the light. In Episode 2, we were told the tragic, beautiful story of Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man. Today, we shift our gaze, but not our hearts, towards another figure once labelled a curiosity. A woman who carried her difference like a crown. A woman of strength, intelligent, a voice. This is the story of Annie Jones, the Bearded Lady. She was born in 1865 in Virginia. Annie Jones Elliott. From the moment she entered the world, she was unique. Fine dark hair covered her face, ears, and body, a condition the doctors would later call heroism. Her parents were astonished, confused, but they didn't hide her. They brought her forward. When she was just 9 months old, still swaddling, barely speaking, her parents signed a contract with a man named P.T. Barnum. He would pay them $150 a week, an astonishing sum in those days, to display their infant daughter in his museum in New York. She was labeled the infant Esau after the biblical figure born hairy, and so her life began in a glass box. By the age of 5, Annie was a sensation. She wasn't just a bearded child, she was charming, poised, intelligent. She travelled with Barnum's troops, appearing in newspapers, photographs, advertisements. She was always well dressed, carefully posed, but there was more than just novelty in her presence. She spoke with elegance, she sang, she played piano. Crowds didn't just come to stare, they came to listen. But behind the glamour was something darker. When Annie was just a young child, she was kidnapped by a phonologist, a pseudoscience, who believed he could study character through skull shapes. He claimed she belonged to science, not entertainment. For months, she vanished. Barnum himself hired private investigators. She was eventually found and returned to the family. But the experience scarred her. She had tasted just how easily she could be owned by science, by man, by the world. As Annie grew into a woman, her beard became fuller, darker, impossible to hide, but she never tried. She leant in, wore dresses with pride, styled her hair, let the world see her, all of her. By her teens, she had become one of Barnum's most iconic performers, touring with the greatest show on earth, then with other shows after his death. But Annie didn't just perform. She spoke out. She argued passionately against the use of the word freak. To her, it was cruel, dehumanizing. She lobbied for change in how performers like her were treated, labeled, and seen. She said, "I am a woman, not a monster. I have feelings, hopes, and fears like any other." She married twice, loved deeply, and even though many called her a sideshow curiosity, she was in truth a woman of incredible dignity. She wasn't trapped with a beard. She was empowered by it. She turned the gaze of the crowd back on itself and asked, "What are you staring at? And why?" Annie worked for decades in the circus world. She made good money. She traveled. She was respected, not pitied. She also taught music, given lessons to young girls, and was known in private life for her gentle voice and gorgeous heart. She died in 1902 at the age of 37 from tuberculosis. She was buried in Brooklyn, remembered by some as a marvel, by others, those who knew her, as a warrior. She once said, "I choose not to hide, because when I am seen, truly seen, perhaps somebody else will feel a little less alone." Annie Jones wasn't a sideshow act. She was a human being with talent, grief, admiration, and immense courage. She used her differences not to shock, but to empower. She demanded the dignity that so many denied her, and she gave others, especially women, a model of strength and versatility. She wasn't just the bearded lady, she was Annie, musician, advocate, performer, daughter, wife, and one of the bravest women ever to wear her story on her skin.